Good morning, student. I am Dr. Simi Khurana, and I'm going to discuss Unit 16 Financial Derivatives, and the topic is Forward Rate Agreement. Forward rate agreement is a forward contract. It is not a future contract. Forward contract means it is uh, the counterparties are do the trading on the OTC market, over the counter market, and this is a customized trade between the parties, and they are the two parties to exchange an interest rate differential on the notional principal amount at a given future date, in which one party, who is the buyer, agreed to pay a fixed interest payment at a quoted contract rate and receive a floating interest payment from the seller at a reference rate. The underlying rate may be the LIBOR rate or the MIBOR rate. Forward transactions are entered as a hedge against the interest rate changes, as we know that the future is uncertain and nobody can predict the future. In the case of this, the interest may be increase or decrease, and both the buyer and the sellers want to hedge against the interest rate changes. In a simple words, we can say that it is an agreement between two parties who actually who entered into the contract to protect themselves against a future movement in the interest rate. Uh, we have already discussed this is the forward contract in which the buyer effectively promised today to borrow an amount of money in the future at an agreed upon interest rate. And moreover, forward rate agreement is an off balance sheet contract. Why it is off balance sheet contract? Because the two parties are never exchanged the principal amount. We just taken the principal amount for the calculation purpose, and this contract is conducted on the OTC market. Both the parties in the forward rate agreement determine the forward interest rate, which will apply to an agreed notional principal amount for a specified period. In such a agreement, the borrower and the seller who have agreed to pay each the interest difference between the agreed rate, that is the forward rate, and that is defined in the contract, and the actual interest rate, which is known as a reference rate on the specified future date. Let us discuss this thing through the example. Suppose a financial institution needs rupees 50 million in the month of March, in which it cut payback in May. Assume the current month is January and the institution is expected rise of the interest rate in March. So, in order to hedge against the risk that interest may be higher in the March, the institution entered into a forward rate agreement, and they are going to decide the interest rate which is with the bank, which is 7%. Forward rate agreement with a notional principal is also mentioned, that is a 50 million. Suppose in March the rate of interest rises to 9%, then the bank would pay to the institution, that is the difference, increase interest, and the forward rate agreement, that now the interest rate increased from 7% to the 9%, and there is a difference of the 2%. If the amount of the interest is decreased to 5% in March, then the institution have to pay the difference, that is the 7 to 5, it's a 2%. In a simple words, we can say that forward rate agreements are the techniques for the firm to lock in the interest rate today for the amount of money which the company wants to borrow or lend in the specified future period. The fixed rate is negotiated and agreed upon by the counterparties before they entered into the contract. And the floating rate, I have already said that this is the rate which is depend upon the uh, uh, LIBOR and the MIBOR, whatever the underlying asset and it is going to fluctuate between the periods of the contract, that is from the beginning to the end of the contract. At the maturity, no fund exchange hands, rather the difference between the contracted interest rate and the market rate is exchanged. Now there is a terminology of forward rate agreement. The first one is the forward rate agreement rate. Actually, this is the rate at which the forward rate agreement is traded. It is flexible rate of interest decided at the time when the contract is entered by both the parties. Next one is the buyer. Buyer is a person or the party who's seeking to protect itself against a future rise in the interest rate. Then seller. Seller is a person who protects itself against a future fall in the interest rate. Then maturity date. It's a very important date. Maturity date is the date on which the notional loan or the deposit expires. Then the trade date. Trade date is the date in which a forward rate agreement is traded by the counterparties. Then settlement date. Settlement date is the date that will be the time period after the spot date referred to by the forward rate agreement terms. On this date, actually, the forward rate agreement is to be settled by paying or receiving the compensation amount by the counter parties. Then reference. This is the rate used as a part of the calculation of the settlement amount. Usually the rate LIBOR and MIBOR etc. rate on fixing the date for the contract period. Then the contract amount. This is a notional principle actually on which the forward rate agreement is based. Contract currency. This is the currency on which the forward rate agreement is based. Then the last one is the contract period. This is the period from the settlement date to the maturity date. Now let us discuss about the characteristics. The first characteristic, which is very important, that is forward rate agreements are traded on at the over-the-counter market. It means that the parties of the forward rate agreements are dealing directly with each other. The terms and the conditions of the forward rate agreement are negotiated by the parties as per the requirement. So the forward rate agreements are the customized contract. The second one is the characteristic is the off-balance sheet contract. The forward rate agreements are off-balance sheet contract because the principal among the counterparties amount decided in the forward rate agreement is a notional amount and it is not going to be exchanged. The third is the offer bid rate. In this case, we can say that forward rate agreements are sometimes quoted as an offer bid rate, as usually followed in the money market. Buyer of the forward rate agreement, being borrower, gets a high rate, whereas the seller, being the lender or a depositor, gets a lower rate. Popular periods is another characteristic which is very important. The popular period in the forward rate agreements are normally 3 months and 6 months. However, recently 12 months are also gaining popularity. Next one is a few currencies. Actually, the forward rate market is concentrated in the few currencies like USA dollar, pound sterling, euro, Japanese yen, etc. However, they are available in such currency where there are no financial futures. Next, statistics we have already discussed. That is the forward contract It's a forward contract of the interest rate. It's not a future. And one party, who is a buyer, is going to make some fixed interest payment, and the other party, who is the seller, their interest rate is based on the reference rate at the time of the contract expire, because it is keep on fluctuating, it's changing, and the underlying asset is an interest rate, and the payments are based on the difference between the contract rate and the reference rate, that is a LIBOR. LIBOR is a London Interbank Offer Rate. Forward rate agreement market is very liquid, and rates are readily quoted on screen by both banks and the brokers. Forward rate agreements are moreover cash settled contract. It means the money is not actually borrowed or lent at the settlement date. Rather, winning party, it can be either a buyer or it can be the seller, pays the compensation amount to the losing party. Forward rate agreements are also known as a credit instrument. So, same condition applied to them as light on the non-performing loans. However, the credit risk is limited in the compensation of amount only. Moreover, as we know that the forward rate agreements are based on the forward contract and the default is more, but in this case credit default is less because it depends upon only the amount of the interest and the notional principal and the amount which is notional, which are not including, which are not lent or buying by the buyer or the seller, it should be excluded. Now, how the forward rate contracts are used for the hedging purpose? They are the two persons. One is the buyer and the seller. First, we will discuss regarding the buyer. The buyer of the forward rate agreement receives the settlement amount. He agrees to pay a fixed rate payment and receives a floating rate payment. He wants to protect itself from the future increase in the interest rate. We can describe in another way also, a firm which borrow funds from the lender to run its business operation at the floating rate. If the rate of interest rises, then what is going to be happen? Then the firm interest expenses will increase and resulting into lowering of the profit. Similarly, if the investor who owns a fixed rate debt will experience a decrease in their asset value in case of increase in the market interest rate. Thus, in such cases, buying of the forward rate agreement plays an important role to hedge the impact of the higher interest rate. In the case of the seller of the forward rate agreement, which also plays an important role at the time of the settlement amount, how they can settle the amount. He agrees to pay a floating rate payment and receive a fixed rate payment. He wants to protect itself from the future decline in the interest rate. If the firm is a financial institution again, a banker or a lender which is lending the money to the borrower on a floating rate, then decline in the interest rate will decrease the interest income of the firm. In such a situation, if the firm has short or sold a forward rate agreement, then the firm will have hedge, because the lower interest rate also result in the profit on the forward rate agreement. The investor who has invested in the short-term floating rate bond is also exposed to decline in future rate. He will also be hedged by taking a short position in the forward rate agreement. Forward rate agreement plays a very important role in the India also. Uh, According to the RBI permits corporate entities to hedge interest rate risk on both the assets and the liability side using rupee interest rate derivatives. Corporate customer needs to identify and earmark the genuine exposure against each interest rate, ensuring that the tenure and the notional of the hedge do not exceed that of the underlying. There are the certain important things such as forward rate agreements is based on the overnight call rate benchmark. That is a Mumbai Interbank offer rate or published by the NSE. Though forward rate agreement based on the rupee rates implied in the USA dollar versus Indian foreign currency exchange market interbank offered rate. And foreign banks have also recently started trading in a foreign rate agreements in Indian currency by quoting their price of forward rate agreement. Forward rates are being constructed of different securities with the different maturities. Now let us discuss the formula for calculating the forward rate interest. This is M multiplied by 1 IR minus IG into N divided by 360, and again 1 plus IR multiply N divided by 360. What is N? N is a notional principal amount. IR is a reference rate. It can be it is a market rate and it keeps on changing. IG is the FRA contract rate. N is the duration, and N DT minus DE. DT means maturity date of underlying forward rate agreement contract, and DE is the settlement date of the forward rate agreement contract. This is the question. In this, the notional amount is rupees 10 lakh. Reference rate is 6-month LIBOR, and the forward rate agreement contract rate is 4%. D in 3 months and DT in 9 months. The duration is 6 months. 3 months means it is going to be start from the three months. It may be start from the March and it is going to be end in the 9th month, that is the September. The difference between both of them, that is 9 minus 3, it is a 6. Then again, we have uses the LIBOR rate. We are taking the hypothesis that in 3 months and the 6-month LIBOR is 5% only, and the firm pays the interest rate differential. And let us just now do the calculation. It's a 10 lakh multiplied by 0.05 minus 0.04 into 180 divided by 360. Now again we have to calculate the present value, or we'll do the calculation of present value. 1 plus 0.005 into 180 divided by 360. Why the 180 amount has to become? Because the duration is 6 months, my dear student, and we have taken 30 days in each month. If you are going to multiply 30 into 6, you will get the amount 180. That's why the amount is 180 written here. Now but the difference they have to pay, the seller has to pay 4878.05 to the buyer. Thank you very much.